Hello everyone and welcome to the Alba Method. My name is Alba Avella and it has been so long since I've been on my mat creating and moving with all of you, and I'm just so excited to be here. Today I have for you an all levels mobility flow. We're going to be unlocking the entire body today, but we're mainly going to be focusing on the upper body, neck, and shoulders. We will be warming up with a couple yoga blocks today, so if you've got those, grab them, or maybe a couple soft books if you don't have any yoga blocks. And as always, listen to your body. Do what feels right. If something is painful or strenuous, feel free to modify or discard it altogether. Grab your mat, and I'll meet you when you're ready. All right, today we're going to start in a tabletop position, and you're going to grab those blocks. And we're just going to place them on their widest side, and we're going to place the palms flat on the blocks with the middle finger pointing directly forward. And you can kind of grip the mat or the blocks, or just allow the hands to rest softly. And you want them directly underneath the shoulders, with the knees underneath the hips, and start with the toes tucked under. Bringing the ears in line with the shoulders, gently drawing the shoulder blades down the back, and taking the gaze slightly forward, finding this nice neutral foundation. A slight subtle pulling in of the low rib cage as you breathe into the low back. And just exhale, soften into the shape. Feel the hands gripping your blocks as you press down through the knees. Feel the low belly start to pull in and up. Pressing into the hands even more. Start to lean forward ever so slightly into the fingertips. Feeling the shoulders go over the wrists, keeping the gaze forward. Nice subtle movement. And then just gently take the hips back towards the heels, keeping the toes tucked under and the gaze forward. Drawing the shoulders down the back, relaxing the shoulders, letting the heart open slowly and gently. Good, coming back to that tabletop neutral position, taking the shoulders over the wrists once more. Feel the arms straight as you lean forward, and then shifting back. Good, starting to move with the breath. Inhale, shift forward. Nice, slow, gentle movement. Exhale, shift back, hips to heels. Good, two more, inhale. And exhale, working into some flexion and extension of the wrists. One more time. And shifting back, we're going to take this into a circular motion. So start to take the shoulders over that left wrist as you make your way around to the right. Starting to create some clockwise circles through the hands, gripping the blocks, pressing through the entire hand, the entire palm, each fingertip. And if this is too much on your wrists, feel free to get rid of the blocks, or hand weights help too. When you're ready, go ahead and switch directions just to balance it out. Again, keeping the gaze soft, keep the breath fluid, just breathe. Notice what you're feeling, notice where you feel it, and see if you can start to notice a release of some subtle tension in the body. Coming back to center, taking those hips back towards your heels. Good, and then coming back to a tabletop position. Just pause here for a moment. From here, go ahead and flip the top of that left hand onto the top of that block. Getting a nice little wrist stretch here. See if you can spin the crease of that elbow gently forward as you gently press your hips back towards the back of the mat, back of your space. Spreading the fingertips wide. Being patient. If the elbow's bent, that's okay. Go where you can go. And then just shake that out, and we'll switch sides, flipping the top of that right hand down. Remember, spread the fingertips wide, press down, and then see if you can just start to gently spin the eye of that elbow forward. Feeling that movement through the arm, up into the shoulder, down the back. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Just pause here for a moment. Take a breath, and just let it go. Good. From here, you're going to shift your hips back towards your heels. Go ahead and spin those blocks so that they're on the thinner side. And we're going to come back forward into this tabletop position, grabbing the blocks, walking the knees back ever so slightly. And we're going to come into this modified low chaturanga. So you're going to bend the elbows, start to come down, bringing the chest between the blocks, hugging those shoulder blades onto the blocks. Allow the chest to melt and the booty to shoot up towards the sky. And then pressing through the heels of the hands, pressing back up. Straighten those arms. Take your hips back towards your heels. Allow the gaze to go down as the chest melts. Good, let's do that again. So shift forward, hands, shoulders, wrists, all come into line with each other. Allowing the hips to drop ever so slightly, and then bending those elbows, start to bring the chest down between the blocks. Allow it to open up. Stick your booty to the sky. Pull the belly in. Protect your low back. And then press through the heels of the hands as you shift back. Good, allowing the heart to melt, allowing the gaze to go down. Press into those blocks to create some tension through the arms. And then shifting back forward, coming center. Go ahead and bend those arms, coming down between the blocks. One last time, allow the heart to melt. The shoulders can rest on those blocks. And then push through the heels of those hands, pressing right back up, hips to heels. This time, walk those blocks forward. Start to take the tops of the feet flat, coming into this modified child's pose. With the hands on the blocks, stretching out those arms. You can shift side to side here, making whatever little adjustments feel good in your body. Just pause, breathe. Sending your breath to your low back and right between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. Come back to center when you're ready. Go ahead and set those blocks aside for now. And we're going to come back to a tabletop position with the hands flat on the mat. Knees underneath the hips. And just take a moment to notice the difference as you set up this shape once again. Toes can be tucked under here. And just take a couple breaths. Allowing yourself to soften once again into your shape. Bringing your focus back to your body, back to your breath. Good. From here, I'm going to spin around so you can see me on the right side. We're going to start in this tabletop position. Keeping that left hand underneath you, go ahead and take that right hand out in line with the shoulder with the palm down. Good. So from here, you're going to keep that palm down. You're just going to reach that arm forward and then come back out in line with the shoulder. Good, just finding some movement through that shoulder. Working into that lat underneath the shoulder blade. Good, and now I want you to bring that hand out in line with the shoulder. Go ahead and flip that palm, bend the elbow, bring the top of the hand right to the low back. Just pause here, notice what you feel. Drawing that shoulder blade down the back, and then we'll come back to center, bringing that hand out in front of you. Good, let's do that again. Bringing that hand out in line with the shoulder. Flip the palm, bring the top of that hand to the low back, keeping your gaze down, ears in line with the shoulders. Drawing that shoulder blade down the back. Notice what you feel and where you feel it. Good, let's do that a couple more times. Bringing that arm forward. Out in line with the shoulder, flip the palm. Being mindful of your movement, bring the top of the hand to the small of the back. Any pinching or twinging, back off. And come back to center. Good, let's do that 2 more times with your breath. Breathing as you breathe. Coming back to center one last time. Bring the top of the hand to the low back. And now start to just breathe into that space. Finding maybe even a little cat round spine as you drop the gaze down. Push into that opposite hand. Pushing through the knees. Take a breath. And then unwind, bringing that hand back out in front of you, adding on. Bring that arm out in line with the shoulder. Go ahead and reach up, finding a gentle opening here. And then bending that left elbow, start to sweep that right arm through. Hover that right shoulder right above the mat, pressing through that left hand. And then open back up through the rib cage. Let's do that 2 more times. Pressing through that left hand. Reach, hover that right shoulder. Inhale, reach right back up. Try not to move too much in the hips. Good. Last time, hover that shoulder and reach right back up. Beautiful. This time we're going to come all the way down into that threaded needle. Go ahead and extend your left arm all the way forward so that the palm is flat at the top of the mat. And if you feel okay here, pressing through the top of that hand, start to extend the ball of that left foot back. So finding some nice length through this left side. Pressing through the ball of that foot, maybe finding a little calf stretch here, pressing into that left hand to stretch out through the rib cage. Breathe. Pressing into that right side of the head to stay nice and stable, that right shoulder, that right knee. Being aware of what's happening, staying present. And then we'll slowly start to come back from that, bringing that left hand underneath you. That left knee comes back. Unwind the same way we went in. Reach up. And come back to your center. Just pause. And we'll flip around to that left side. You can stay where you are. We're coming back to that tabletop position. Just notice the difference here between the right and the left side. And then we'll take that left hand out in front of us. Palm is flat. And then bringing that left hand out in line with the shoulder. Feel the shoulder blade hug ever so slightly onto the back. And then keeping that shoulder where it is, just extend the fingertips forward, being mindful of your movement. Bringing those fingertips out in line with the shoulder. Let's do that again. Remember to breathe. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And bring it right on line with that shoulder. It's not a huge movement. We're just creating some warmth, some heat. Good, adding on. Go ahead and extend those fingertips forward. Pause. Good, bringing that hand out in line with the shoulder. Start to flip that palm, bringing this hand to the small of the back. Pause, breathing into your low back. Pull the low ribs in. Stay strong in that foundation. And then come back to center. Nice slow movement, being aware of both sides. Flipping that palm, bringing the top of the hand to the small of the back. Pause, create it. And then coming back to center, moving nice and slow, just breathe. Let's do that a few more times together. Starting to recognize the movement. Starting to notice what's happening. Good, 2 more. Stay nice and gentle through your movement, nothing forced. And last one. This starts to create that internal heat. I'm starting to shake too, so come back to center, reach forward, and now we're going to bring that left hand out. Reach up, look up, and then we'll bend that right elbow as you reach through. Gaze over your right shoulder, hover that left shoulder. Inhale, reach right back up. Exhale, reach it through, hover. Good, 2 more. Inhale, nice and slow, take your gaze with you. Exhale, reach it through. Last time, inhale, create it. And as you exhale, nice and gentle, come down onto that left shoulder, set it up first. Extending the top of that right hand to the top of your mat. And then if you feel okay here, pressing the ball of that right foot back. And just explore it for a moment. Notice the little nuances and details within this shape. Breathe. And then we slowly unwind, coming back to center, bringing that left hand underneath you. Go ahead and reach up with that left hand. And release to your tabletop position. Pause. Good. Go ahead and bring those hands right underneath your shoulders. Tucking those toes. Start to come into your first downward facing dog. Walk out those feet. Give those knees a break. Lifting and lowering the heels, but just take a moment to notice the difference in the shoulders. Check out your hands, set up your space. Allow yourself to just open into the shape for just a moment. Take a couple breaths here. Shifting the hips side to side, gazing underneath one shoulder or the other, or maybe just staying still. Noticing the sounds around you. It's raining where I am. And then just noticing that space within you. Notice your breath. Good, and then gently come down to the knees. And we're going to grab our blocks again. And this time we're going to bring them to their flattest side, widest side, and we're going to come back into that downward dog shape, but we're going to use the blocks as props. So go ahead and walk those knees back and come back into your down dog, and you might need to make some little adjustments with those blocks. That's okay. Set it up so it feels good in your body, but notice the difference with that elevation, with that height. And we don't want to completely collapse in the shoulders. We want to kind of find that equal and opposite, right? We want to open the shoulders, but we also want to engage the arms to protect that shoulder girdle. A lot of us can be hypermobile in the shoulders, so we have to kind of counter by engaging those arms, engaging those biceps, hugging muscle onto bone, which takes work, it takes concentration, it takes some focus. Go ahead and inhale, come into a plank position, just shifting forward, press through those blocks, feel the shoulder blades come onto the back, low belly in, take a breath in, fill up through the back heart space. Exhale, shift the hips up as you melt into your down dog. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Just creating some movement through the body, exploring how we feel today. Good, 1 more time. Let's shift forward, nice and slow. Take it slow, take your time, explore it. Exhale, hips to the sky. There's no rush here. Good. Walk your feet in just a couple of inches. Bend your knees a lot. Bring your heels together. Look between your blocks. Crouch down as if we were going to pounce onto something. You're going to take that right foot forward, come into a lunge. Adjust your back foot. Bring your back knee down. Take a moment here and pause. Some of you may need to spin your blocks up so that they're a little bit higher. That's okay. And that actually feels better for me, so I'm going to stay there as well. Go ahead and press into those blocks gently as you allow the hips to just soften towards the ground. If you need a blanket or to roll up your mat here for that back knee, please feel free to do so. Work on countering that softening through the hips by pulling in through the belly. Lift the heart, allow the shoulders to relax. Take a big inhale. Good. Keeping your hands where they are, pick up your back knee, step back, come back to that crouching position, and then switch sides, taking that left foot forward, making those little adjustments and bringing that back knee down. Again, bringing those hands underneath you for support. Allow the hips to soften as you lean into that left foot. Standing on that left foot strong. Take a breath, allow the upper body to soften ever so slightly. Beautiful. Go ahead and pick up that back knee. And now, coming back to that crouching position, just pause here. Let the knees open. Bringing the hands onto the blocks. Allow your forehead to just gaze down. Stretch out those shoulders, and then we're going to release back to a tabletop position. Good. So from here, from this tabletop, we're going to just step that right foot forward again, off the mat. Turn those toes out ever so slightly, maybe about 1 o'clock, and then pick up that back knee, bring it back. I'm going to bring that left block out just ever so slightly. Bring the left hand underneath the shoulder. Start to reach up with that right hand. Find a twist. Pause. Just notice what you feel. Good. Reaching up as you press through the heel of that hand, bringing that right hand down. Good. We're just going to pick up that back foot, step back, switch sides. Okay, so it's almost like a plank position, right? Step back and switch sides. We've got those blocks for leverage. Do that again. Pick up the back knee. Step back, switch sides. Good. Notice that transition, and then setting up on that left side, pressing into that right hand, turning those left toes out if needed, and then reaching up with that left hand. Pause. Pressing into the right side, elevating through that right shoulder, giving yourself an opening, giving yourself space. And then when you're ready, release that. Good. We're going to pick up that back knee. We're going to step back to that plank, and then coming back down to a tabletop position. Good. So take those blocks a little bit wider, and we're going to step forward, and we're going to come into just a forward fold here. So keeping the knees bent, go ahead and make that transition. Allow your head to sink down. Maybe shake out the head and nod it yes, nod it no. Keep those blocks right underneath you as we come into a halfway lift here. So extending those hips back towards the back of your mat, standing strong on the feet. If the knees are still bent here, that's okay. Drawing the shoulder blades onto the back, pull the low ribs in. Just pause here. Good, and then start to fold. Good, let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, find that halfway lift, bringing the spine into a neutral shape. Low belly pulls in. Maybe the legs are straight, maybe they're not. That's okay. Protect those hamstrings and then fall back into it. Breathe into your low back. Breathe into the back side of the rib cage. Let your head relax. Pause. Letting go of tension through the neck and shoulders. Finding that space between. Good, let's do again. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we fold. Good. You're going to bring one block with you as you slowly come up to a standing position. And we're going to hold that block in between the hands. So they should be about shoulder height. And we're going to really squeeze that block. So pressing the hands into the block. Feel some tension. Feel some friction here. We don't want to use our shoulders to shrug up. Let's allow the shoulders to draw down the back. And it's just a nice gentle pressure. A nice slight engagement. We're going to inhale, keeping the hands pressing into that block. Start to come into this Tadasana mountain pose. Start to lift those shoulders up towards your ears. Shrug the shoulders now. And then bringing the block maybe 2 inches behind your head. Bringing that block out in front of you. Continue to press into the block with those hands. Bringing the block all the way down. And then we'll do that again. Inhale. Nice slow movement. Doesn't have to be super tense on the block. We just want to find some slight engagement and to notice what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Good. One more time, bringing the arms up overhead, maybe slightly behind the head. And we're going to pause here. So continuing to press the hands into that block overhead, or take a little side body stretch over to the right. Continue to pressing the hands into the block, pulling the low ribs in. Find a little side body stretch. Weight is heavy in that left foot. Coming back to center, inhale. Taking it over to the left. Good, back to center, inhale. Find a gentle back bend. Use that block to reach up, reach back. And then we'll gently come back to center, bringing those hands down. And just taking a break, noticing that difference. Good, so from here, I want you to take that block. And we're going to bring it back in between the hands. And we're going to keep it, at a little bit of an angle. And then we're going to grip that block with the left hand. We're going to take it behind us, grabbing it with the right hand, coming back to center. Hands come to the block. We're going to inhale, reach it up overhead. And exhale, come back to center. Now we're going to go to the right. So continuing to hold the block with the right hand. Take it behind you, bringing both hands behind you. Transfer that block, coming back to center. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, come back to center. Let's do that again. Transferring from left to right, bringing it behind you. Try to keep the mid-body stable using just the work of the shoulders. Good. Switching sides to the right. Taking the hand behind you, transferring that block. Coming back to center. Inhale, reach up. Good. Coming back to center. Do that a couple more times on your own with your breath. Making sure you're balancing out the sides. And when you feel balanced, coming back to center. Bringing that block down in front of you. Now we're going to take the block behind us. We're going to grip it with both hands, and then I want you to inhale, shrug those shoulders up, and then we're going to slide them down the back. Try not to overcompensate by allowing the chest to get away from you. Pull the belly in, keep the hips stable, draw the ears back over the shoulders. This may be good. This may be a lot, and that's okay. If the arms are bent, that's okay too. If you need both blocks, that's okay. But you want to grip that mat, and then if you're ready, without overcompensating, lift the arms. Squeezing the shoulder blades onto the back. Notice what you feel. And then slowly lower. And just explore that. Do that a couple times. Maybe lifting the arms, holding that block, squeezing that block. And coming back to the center. You may need to adjust your grip. Again, just exploring it. And then when you're ready, go ahead and shake that out. We're going to come into ragdoll, so set those blocks aside. Take a nice deep bend in those knees, interlace those arms, let your head be nice and heavy. Take a couple breaths here, just notice the difference. And when you're ready, we'll meet in our downward facing dog. The body feels nice and warm now, hopefully. Take a couple breaths here, pedal out the heels. Notice the difference. Take a breath. Good. From here, we're going to lift the heels, start to reach that right leg up. Good, we're going to step that through to a lunge, placing the foot between the hands. Just pause here. And you are welcome to use your blocks at any point. Keep them handy. From here, we're going to find a twist. So keeping that back knee up, start to find a twist through that right arm, reaching right up above you. And then we're going to press off that left hand, coming into this vertical twist in this lunge. So reaching that left arm forward and the right arm back. We're going to spin that right arm forward, bringing the hands just like we did in the beginning when we were holding that block, imagining holding that block, and then take that hand back, palm is open, reach back, breathe, lunge. Good, inhale, reach that arm forward, find your balance. Exhale, reach back. One more time, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach back. Come back into that lunge twist. Bring that left hand down. So good. Bringing that right hand to meet. From here, you're going to step that left foot in quite a bit, keeping the back heel up. Start to straighten that right leg. Coming into this pyramid prep, and this might be a great place to grab one of your blocks. Good. I want you to start to just lift and lower that back heel ever so slightly. Just find some movement through the ankle. Good, and then you're going to step that left foot even more. We're going to start to bend that back knee, picking up the right toes. So walk those hands back, getting that knee over the ankle. If it's too much, take this out. But we want to get into that deep flexion of the knee. Good. Using that quad, using the outer edge of that foot. Just a couple times to warm up that knee joint. Take a breath in, find this stretch, find a little halfway lift here. Good, and then we're just going to shift into that right foot, bending the knee ever so slightly. Bring that left foot to meet the right. Coming into a forward fold here, our first one without the blocks. Just let your head be nice and heavy. Good, inhale, take that halfway lift, and let's come all the way up to Tadasana, reaching those arms out, pause. Good. From here, I want you to interlace those hands, press those palms to the sky. Notice the difference in the shoulders. Take that side body stretch to the right. Once again, maybe we start to spin that gaze up underneath that left arm. And then switching sides. Beautiful work. Come back to center. Go ahead and take those hands behind the head, pulling the low ribs in. Just allow your head to relax into your hands. Letting the shoulders relax, pressing the head into the hands and the hands into the head. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release that. Coming back into a forward fold. Shake it out. Take a halfway lift here. And we're going to reset, stepping back to our plank. And coming into downward facing dog. Reset. Go ahead and lift that left leg up. Inhale. Exhale, step through to lunge, pause. Setting it up once again. And then pushing through those right fingertips. Start to reach up, find your twist. Staying heavy through the hips, heavy in that front foot. Reaching straight up instead of behind you. Breathing into that left rib cage. Take an inhale. And just soften, exhale. Good, start to rise up on. Finding that twist. And if you wobble, that's okay. Go ahead and reach forward with those left fingertips. A little rusty. And then go ahead and reach back. Good. Go ahead and reach forward. And reach back, really grounding down through that left foot. Beautiful. One more time. Stay strong. And reach back. Breathe into that twist. And then we'll bring that right hand down, finding that twist once again. Pause. Good. Bring the left hand down. Big step in through that right foot, keeping that heel up. And then pressing down and forward into that left foot as we find this pyramid prep. And lift and lower that back heel. Just notice what you feel. Keeping the left leg engaged to protect that knee. And then walking those hands back. Big step in with that right foot. Bend the knee. And maybe the heel doesn't stay down. That's okay. This is a weird movement. Be patient and gentle. This is a lot of movement through that ankle and knee. But great to help lubricate that joint. Keep those those left toes up, pressing through that left heel. just explore it. If this is not for you, simply stay in that pyramid prep. When you're ready, coming back to center, go ahead and bend that left knee and bring that right foot to meet your left. Good. Coming back into your forward fold, wherever you are. Inhale, coming back up nice and slow, coming into that Tadasana. Good. Interlacing the hands and pressing the palms to the sky. Find that side body stretch to the right. And inhale, come back to center, take it over to the left. Good. Inhale, come back to center, hands behind the head. Let the gaze lift, opening the chest. And exhale, coming back into that forward fold, release. Shake it out. Beautiful work. Find a halfway lift here. And go ahead and reset, stepping back to your downward facing dog. Just notice the difference. Take a breath. And from here, go ahead and coming back to a tabletop position. And shifting on to your bottom. With the feet planted, go ahead and bring those hands to the knees. And just pause here, using the hands on the knees as for some leverage to sit up tall. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. Take a breath. Good. So from here, we're going to, keeping the hands on the knees, just plant the feet, and we're just going to find a little gentle cat and cow through the rib cage. So just pulling the ribs back, drop the chin towards the chest. Again, using the hands on the knees to just find a little movement through the rib cage. Good. Now I want you to start to lean back, and as you lean back, start to lift the chest, engage the belly, start to reach forward. Good. So we're going to take those left fingertips, we're going to reach up, we're going to spin behind us, we're going to tap the mat, and then come back to center. Right side, we're going to reach up, spin the palm, tap the outside of the mat with that pinky finger, come back to center. You can stay here, or lift those feet, reaching up, tap, coming back to center. Reaching up, tap, coming back to center. Getting into that core. Or again, keeping the feet flat. That might be plenty, and that's okay. Good. Let's do a couple more each side, rotating through that right side, following the gaze. Stay strong. And then go ahead and plant those feet if they are not already, bringing the soles of the feet together. Go ahead and grab out into those ankles or those shins, lifting the heart. Take a big inhale. Exhale, just fall over those legs. Breathe. And from here, go ahead and sit up, coming on to your back, pulling both knees into your chest. And then we'll cactus or goalpost the arms, dropping those knees over to the right, gaze over your left shoulder, and extend that left arm. Noticing all the differences. Breathing into that left rib cage, allowing everything to soften. And on your next inhale, coming back through center, and allowing those knees to drop to the left as you gaze over your right. Wherever you are, just pause, relax, breathe. And on your next inhale, coming back to center, interlace those hands, take a full body stretch, extending the arms, extending those arms overhead. And then soften. Release your arms down by your side. Just take a few breaths of stillness here. Feeling the heaviness. the release of tension. And that beautiful breath. Taking as much time as you need here. And when you're ready, you can join me in extending those arms overhead once again, feeling that space and that expansion that you created. And gently pulling both knees into your chest, and just slowly rocking side to side. There's no rush here. Allow your body to slowly come back to this present moment, to this space. As you gently make your way over onto one side and press yourself up to a seat with the legs crossed or on your knees. And just bringing those hands together in front of your heart as we seal in this practice and our movement today. Just bow your chin towards your chest. Allow the shoulders to relax. Wet the lips. Take a breath in. And let the mouth open as you release. Take this energy with you. Take this sense of calm and grounding with you into the rest of your day, the rest of your week, wherever you are in the world. Touching your thumbs to your forehead and just taking a breath in, finding gratitude for whatever it is we're grateful for today, in this moment, at this time. And with that gratitude, we bow to this practice and to all things. Much love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, if you liked this class, please hit that thumbs up, share, comment. You can find me on Instagram at the Alba Method, as well as on Facebook, and I hope to see all of you at my next session. Ciao.